Obviously, we've now all heard the news, James, that you're out of your bout with Pudzianowski. Now, just in your own words, just talk me through, first of all, what exactly happened and why are we at this point right now?
To be honest, well, it's not, I don't know what happened. I have a good ideas, but it's not proven yet, but it will be proven. There will be a big, huge follow-up with this. But the facts of the matter stand is that to compete in Ireland, you have to pass your MRA, blood type, which is, Hep B, Hep C, HIV, physical and eye exam with dilation. I passed all of those back in September. There was extra, because of speculation of previous health problems, they asked me to examine an EEG test that I had, and that EEG test was also a pass. KSW were completely happy with it. The doctors that took the test, Dr. Chris Lamb down at the Manchester Institute of Health and Performance, that does all the UFC, Manchester Premier League players, they was all happy with it and passed me. Without going into, and I can't actually point the finger just yet, but we know there's a company here in Ireland that stipulated they wanted more questioning, and we provided that. And it was literally, it just went on for weeks. This is a 5-week process that's gone on, and not one, they sent me to 3 different doctors and 2 different neurologists, and all 3 passed me. So after multiple of interviews yesterday, the day before, it got down to the point of we had an interview before the weigh-ins, and then after the weigh-ins, we got told that I couldn't fight. Not by KSW. KSW were really angry about the decision that was made and taken out of their hands. If this fight was anywhere else in the world, if this was any other country, from Las Vegas, where they have the Nevada Athletic State Commission, or USADA, or anywhere else that's approved councils, I would have been fighting today.
I'm a little bit baffled because your family's here, your little girl's here, your wife's here, and basically we've been geared up for this for a while. You had no inclination of where this was heading in terms of direction, in terms of what people thought behind the scenes. It just seems a little bit, how can I put it, out of the blue?
No, if I'm honest, I knew there were some speculations because they asked me for information, we provided. Then they asked for a doctor's letter, we provided. Then they asked for clearance, we provided. And it was like, okay, well, eventually they've got to be happy now. I mean, KSW is probably one of the second largest show in MMA in the world. They've put on the second largest show in the world. So they're not a small organization. And also, let me tell you something, I arrived here on Tuesday. If KSW thought I hadn't passed my medicals, I wouldn't be here on Tuesday. They wouldn't have paid extra money to bring me in a week early. They wouldn't have flown my corner team here. You've seen Jeremy, my corner team, Valentine Overeem, my wife's ticket was bought, my daughter's ticket was bought, all of my family, the hotel was bought. I was at the weigh-ins. I mean, none of that would have taken place if I had not passed my medicals. I mean, I'm getting a lot of media attention right now by people saying, oh, you weren't medically cleared. I can produce every documentation right now, and I can do it today and basically put it online for everyone to see that I passed my medicals. On Monday, when all this show is over, there will be a much bigger broadcast of exact details that's going on out there. But as it stands right now, I'm going to let the show have the attention that it deserves. Let all the fighters from the show have the attention it deserves. And from that point onwards, I will start my own, at the end of the day, I'm not going to have people tell me that I'm not medically cleared to fight when I clearly was. There's more going on behind the scenes unfortunately, than it is being shown. And I'm not here to point fingers and point blame at people. At the end of the day, I prepared. I did a full 12 weeks training camp. Mariusz, whether I like him or I don't, he prepared for me, and I feel it's injustice to him to have an opponent change last minute. I've had it done to me. I know that really sucks. And I'm just hugely disappointed for everybody, myself, the fans, everyone who wanted to see this fight. But mark my words, this fight will take place. Mariusz and I will fight, whether it's in December, whether it's going to be in March. KSW and I are in talks. I already have another 4 fights left on my contract, and I just wish that whoever fights on today's show the very best and no one else gets hurt.
Finally, I suppose a lot of this does rest on your previous statements around epilepsy. You've previously stated in various, or one video at least, that I've seen, that epilepsy does actually, or did actually play a factor in the reason for you walking away from the sport. Do you not concede that perhaps looking at that, someone in the Safe MMA camp might have serious concerns?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm just not just Safe MMA. Forget Safe MMA for a second. I'm sure my own family, my own self had serious doubts. But at that time we gave that interview, that was 14 months ago. And at that time I was still going through a full process because to diagnose epilepsy, it's a series of tests. It's not just one. You don't just walk into the doctor and he says, yes, you have epilepsy or you don't. You have to go through a series of tests. Now, at that time, back in August 2016, when that statement was made, I just started those series of tests, and that's what the doctors were testing me for. And at that time, no test came back and said positive for epilepsy, but I was looking to have those symptoms. 3 months forward, I was cleared of all symptoms. All my tests came back consecutively that I did not have epilepsy. But the statement was out there. It was already in the press. I wasn't fighting anymore. It wasn't something that we could just extract. But as it stands, every doctor's test results for the last 14 months I have produced and shown, from EEG test to MRI, every physical and every bit of blood work we've produced, and not one doctor and not one test ever come back and said, in fact I have numerous doctors saying completely does not have epilepsy. So social media is a powerful tool, but it doesn't overpower professional doctors in the neurological field, and that's what should stand. And the fact of the matter is, even if there was symptoms of seizures, it doesn't stop you. It's not on the medical watch list. It doesn't stop you from competing, and it is a controlled medication that can control it. And that medication is not on the watch list for performance enhancement or anything else. As that stands, I luckily enough, 1000% don't have those. But even if I did, you still couldn't stop me from fighting. So that was always the yin yang of the arguments that we were taking place. But on the whole side of this, and this is not here to just, I'm gonna keep, just blow smoke up someone's ass. KSW supported me from the start to the finish, because they know, and they pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, almost to the point where they almost lost the whole show, and fought for their fighter. And I tell you what, I fought for some big shows around the world, and I've never had anyone go out for me as much as KSW did. Martin and Martine, they really pushed for me to have this fight until the last minute, where they was almost going to lose the show. And it was myself that said, okay, I'm not going to have this happen. The fans deserve, and the other fighters deserve, to see that other fights take place. They've all prepared. I'll step down. They're not going to change their decision. And it was a very difficult decision to make, but I don't think it's fair for anyone to not lose their fight, but over a messed up situation between a company that is not even a sanctioning body.